What is going on, YouTube? We're on the lot today, and man, we are sold out, man. I have no cars whatsoever. I still have the Avalanche for sale. For some reason that thing hasn't sold. It's been here a couple weeks, but we're gonna focus on this thing. So I just picked this thing up off of a actually family member. He called me up. He said, hey, I got this little Civic for sale, do you want to buy it? I said, heck yes. I got no cars on the lot, let's get it done. So the story behind this thing is it runs rough, so he didn't want to deal with it no more. So I went and swooped it up real quick. Let's go ahead and see if we can get this thing fixed, guys. It's a 99 Honda Civic, got about 200 and almost 20,000 miles I think on it, but these things are selling quick right now. For some reason people are buying cars, like I said, can't even keep the lot stocked. So I got a couple more Subarus over there. I got a new Volkswagen and a new Malibu and SRT4 Caliber there. So we'll see if we can do a video on those later, but right now we're gonna focus on this thing. So yeah, guys, so we're gonna go ahead and check this thing out. Like I said, it's misfiring and it runs rough, it has no power. So that was the story behind it. Let's go ahead and check it out, see what we can figure out. I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing unloaded. We can work a little bit better over here in the corner. Okay, so I already got this thing unloaded. Let's just go ahead and do a quick power balance test on this. I know you're not supposed to, but on Hondas, it has kind of a long crank too, but it does fire right up. And I don't know if you guys can tell very well, but it is shaking, it is misfiring. But let's just go ahead and pull these wires. So that one made it run worse. This one here doesn't do anything. That one made it run worse. That one made it run worse. So looks like we got a problem here with cylinder 3, right? So let's go ahead and pull this spark plug out and we'll start doing basic tests on this thing, see what we can get going on this. Alright guys, so we went ahead and pulled out that spark plug, and I'm kind of looking at it. It looks a little bit wet here on the corner. So I mean, when a spark plug's wet, generally that means either we got no spark or bad compression. So it smells like fuel, so I'm assuming it's spraying fuel. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do a quick compression check on this. If it's got good compression, then we'll continue to see why we're not getting spark there. Maybe throw a spark tester on it. Okay guys, so check it out. We just did a compression test and it looks like we got low compression. So, you know, either this thing's got bad valves, bad rings, something else is going on with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this valve cover off and we'll go ahead and check it out, guys. Okay, so just a cheap trick here. What I'm gonna go ahead and do is you get about a little cap full of oil and you pour it down in the cylinder, and what that does is it coats the top of the piston. You put your compression tester back in there and see if that bumps up compression. If that bumps up compression, then most likely you got bad rings. If it doesn't bump up compression, then most likely you got bad valves. So let's just go ahead and try it that way, just a quick test, and see if we get any difference. Okay, so it didn't really do much for us. Looks like it's still at 30. So we're just gonna go ahead and take off this valve cover. Okay, so I moved this thing over to the lift. I'm gonna just go ahead and rip this cylinder head off. With me pouring oil in there and it not changing the compression, it makes me think that the valves are bad. So I'm just gonna risk it in a biscuit and rip that head off. So let's go ahead and just do this. I'm gonna put you guys on a quick time lapse. Doesn't take me too long. I usually get these things off like within the half hour or maybe an hour. So let me just go ahead and work on this thing. Once I get the cylinder head off, we can look at the top of the piston, make sure it's not melted, check the valves, you know, put some water on them, see if they're not leaking. So let's go ahead and do this, guys. All right, so we got this cylinder head off the car. It's just chilling there in that bucket. Just wanted to check out this head gasket. It looked okay. I mean, I'm gonna have to get a new one, but and we'll have to definitely clean off the top of this block. but looks like at some point somebody already did a head gasket on it, since it does have an aftermarket head gasket, and you can tell somebody used a whiz wheel. A couple scratches, so I might have to buff those off till it's smooth. But our damage is over here on our cylinder head. So right off the back, I don't know if you guys can tell, there is definitely a little crack there and there. So this thing definitely has a couple burnt exhaust valves. So it looks like the rest of them are all fine. You can see they're different color. This one here is just black. So definitely bad exhaust valves. I'm gonna go ahead and call O'Reilly's, see if we have 2 of those. Maybe we can just pop them in, slap this thing back together, and have it all done one day. Okay guys, so we just got back from O'Reilly's. We did end up scoring some valves and valve compound. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this rocker arm off, replace the 2 valves in that cylinder. So I know I probably should replace them all, you know, get them all reseated, check the head and everything. But this is just a cheap car, so sometimes cheap cars just get cheap fixes. But I know it will be reliable and it'll run great for somebody. All right guys, so we ended up getting the head bolted on. We got it all torqued, all the head bolts are torqued and everything. So now it's just as simple as putting this thing back together and seeing how she's gonna run. All right guys, so check it out. It's a little bit dark out here, sorry for the lighting, but she is running. So no check engine lights, nothing like that. I just fired this baby up and she purrs like a kitten, guys. Heck yeah, man. So we did just go ahead and do the head gasket on this thing. It was misfiring pretty bad. I had the burnt valves, and I also had to throw a crank position sensor in this thing. So I took apart the distributor, just put the crank sensor in it, and also the phase sensor on the crankshaft itself. So we did go ahead and buy those 2 sensors, but looks like we're gonna make some money on this thing. So she's up for sale. Put her for $26.99, and hopefully she sells here in the next couple days. So yeah guys, remember, flipping cars, making money. Stay up, hustle hard.